Portland Trail Blazers just pulled off one of the potentially biggest heists in NBA draft history, and nobody's talking about it. While everyone was obsessing over Cooper Flagg and the lottery picks, Portland quietly grabbed a 7-foot 1-inch center from China with the 16th pick, who might end up being better than all of the players in the 2025 NBA draft. Yang Hansen wasn't even supposed to be drafted in the first round. ESPN had him going 36th. Most mock drafts didn't have him in the top 30. Hell, the NBA didn't even give him a green room seat. He was sitting in the stands like a regular fan when his name got called. But here's what those draft experts missed. This isn't just some international project. This is a legitimate franchise-altering talent who fell 20 spots, because American scouts don't understand what they're looking at, and by the time you finish this video, you're going to understand exactly why Yang Hansen might be the most undervalued player in the entire 2025 draft class. Forward motion. Setup. See, there are 7 reasons why Hansen is going to make every team that passed on him look foolish. And I'm not talking about some feel-good international story here. I'm talking about cold, hard basketball reasons that should have had him going in the lottery. But before we get into why he's going to be a problem for the entire league, you need to understand just how badly the draft experts whiffed on this one, because what happened on draft night was just the beginning of this story. Reason number 1, the scouting failure. Let's start with the most obvious question. How does a player go from projected 36th pick to 16th overall without anyone seeing it coming? The answer is simple. American scouts got lazy. While everyone was focused on college prospects and the usual suspects, Hansen was dominating the Chinese Basketball Association at 19 years old. Not just playing well, dominating. We're talking about a teenager who won Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season, in a professional league against grown men trying to feed their families. But here's where it gets interesting. The Blazers didn't just stumble onto Hansen by accident. They've been scouting him for over 2 years. They had scouts in China regularly. They knew exactly what they were getting. Meanwhile, other teams were still trying to figure out how to pronounce his name. Hansen averaged 16.6 points, 10.5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2.6 blocks in his second CBA season. Those aren't just good numbers for a 19-year-old. Those are franchise player numbers, and he did it while shooting 58.6% from the field and showing legitimate three-point range at 33.3%. But stats don't tell the whole story. What Hansen brings goes way beyond numbers. Reason number 2, the Jokic comparison isn't crazy. Everyone keeps calling Hansen the Chinese Jokic, and most people think it's just lazy comparison because they're both skilled big men who can pass. They're wrong. The comparison is actually spot on, and it might be underselling Hansen. Watch Hansen play and you'll see the same basketball IQ that made Jokic a 3-time MVP. The court vision, the passing angles, the ability to see plays develop before they happen. Hansen doesn't just make good passes, he makes the right pass every single time. But here's what separates Hansen from other skilled big men. His passing isn't just flashy, it's effective. He averaged nearly 4 assists per game as a center in a professional league. That's not just good for a big man, that's good for anyone. The Blazers saw something in Hansen that reminded them of early Jokic, a player who thinks the game at a different level, who makes everyone around him better, who can run an offense from the center position, and here's the kicker. Hansen might actually be ahead of where Jokic was at the same age. Jokic was drafted 41st overall and took years to develop into a star. Hansen is already showing star-level impact at 20 years old. The comparison isn't lazy, it's got legs, and it's running. Reason number 3, the physical tools are real. Now I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but can he actually play in the NBA? The CBA isn't exactly known for its athletic competition. Fair point, but you're missing something crucial about Hansen's game. This isn't some soft big man who's going to get bullied by NBA athletes. Hansen is 7 feet 1 inch with a 7 feet 3 inch wingspan and weighs 260 pounds. He's not just tall, he's legitimately big and strong enough to bang with NBA centers. But more importantly, he's not as unathletic as people think. At the NBA Combine, Hansen surprised everyone with his agility testing. His shuttle run time was faster than lottery pick Dylan Harper, faster than Jeremiah Fears, who's considered one of the shiftiest guards in the draft. The narrative that Hansen is slow and unathletic is just flat out wrong. He's not going to be jumping out of the gym, but he moves well enough to play in today's NBA. And his basketball IQ more than makes up for any athletic limitations. Plus, let's be honest, Jokic isn't exactly known for his athleticism either, and he's doing just fine. Reason number 4, the defensive impact. Here's where Hansen really separates himself from other skilled big men. He can actually defend. Remember, this is a guy who won Defensive Player of the Year in the CBA as a rookie. That's not just impressive, it's unprecedented. Rookies don't win DPOY in professional leagues, ever. Hansen averaged 2.6 blocks per game in his second season while also being the focal point of his team's offense. He's not just a rim protector, he's a legitimate defensive anchor who can alter shots, protect the paint, and rebound at an elite level. But what makes his defense special isn't just the blocks and rebounds, it's his positioning and basketball IQ. Hansen is always in the right place at the right time. He anticipates plays before they happen. He makes the right rotations instinctively. The Blazers are getting a player who can anchor their defense while also being their primary offensive weapon. That combination is incredibly rare, especially for a 20-year-old. And if you think the CBA competition doesn't translate, remember that Hansen dominated against players who had NBA experience. This isn't some college kid beating up on other college kids. This is a teenager dominating grown professionals. Reason number 5, the Rich Paul connection. He's much more than just an agent. Here's something most people are completely overlooking about the Hansen pick. He's represented by Rich Paul and Clutch Sports. And if you understand how the NBA really works, you know that's a massive advantage. Rich Paul isn't just any agent. He's LeBron James's agent. He's one of the most powerful people in the entire NBA. When Rich Paul calls, general managers answer. When he recommends a player, teams listen. The fact that Rich Paul took on Hansen as a client tells you everything you need to know about his potential. Paul doesn't represent projects or long shots, he represents superstars and future superstars. The guy has LeBron, Anthony Davis, Draymond Green, Ben Simmons. He's not wasting his time on players who can't make an impact. But here's where it gets really interesting for the Blazers. Having a Clutch Sports client on your roster, especially one with Hansen's potential and international appeal, opens doors that most teams can only dream of. Think about it. The Blazers now have a direct line to the most influential agency in basketball. When other Clutch clients are looking for new teams, Portland is going to be in those conversations. When free agents are deciding where to sign, having a positive relationship with Rich Paul matters. The Lakers have benefited from this for years. The Sixers got Ben Simmons partly because of their relationship with Clutch. Now the Blazers have that same advantage. And for Hansen personally, Rich Paul's experience and connections are going to help him navigate the complexities of being an NBA player. Paul knows how to manage careers, how to handle media, how to maximize earning potential both on and off the court. Hansen isn't just getting an agent, he's getting a mentor who's guided some of the biggest stars in the league. That support system is invaluable for a 20-year-old kid from China trying to make it in the NBA. Reason number 6, the off-court goldmine. Now let's talk about something most draft analysts completely ignore, the business side of basketball. Yang Hansen isn't just a basketball player. He's a marketing phenomenon waiting to happen. Just look at the impact with Bronny James. His Summer League debut against Cooper Flag got record views, and that's good for business. Now imagine the hype of Linsanity from the Knicks, but happening for the next decade in Portland. China has 1.4 billion people. The NBA has been trying to crack that market for decades. They had success with Yao Ming, but since Yao retired, they've been looking for the next Chinese superstar to capture that audience. Hansen could be that guy. He already has a massive following in China. His draft selection was front-page news across Chinese media. His jersey is going to be a global bestseller before he even plays a game. The morning after Hansen was drafted, the Blazers became one of the most popular teams in China overnight. Chinese fans are going to be watching every Blazers game just to see their guy play. That's millions of new viewers for a franchise that's been struggling to stay relevant. But it's not just about viewership. We're talking about merchandising opportunities, international partnerships, sponsorship deals with Chinese companies. The financial upside is astronomical. Remember what happened when Yao joined the Rockets? Houston became China's team overnight. Jersey sales exploded. Corporate partnerships followed. The Rockets made more money from their Chinese market than some teams made from their entire operation. The Blazers just got that same opportunity at pick 16. They didn't just draft a player, they drafted access to the world's largest market. Reason number 7, the perfect fit. Here's why the Blazers were the perfect team to take this risk. They're not trying to win now. They're building for the future. Portland has been stuck in mediocrity for years. They needed to take a swing on a high upside player who could change their trajectory. Hansen is exactly that type of player. The Blazers also have the infrastructure to develop international talent. They've done it before with players like Jusuf Nurkic and Anfernee Simons. They know how to be patient with young players and let them develop at their own pace. Hansen doesn't need to be a star immediately. He can learn the NBA game, adjust to the speed and physicality, and gradually take on a bigger role. The Blazers have the luxury of time, but more importantly, Hansen fills a specific need for Portland. They needed a center who could anchor their defense while also contributing on offense. They needed someone who could grow with their young core. Hansen checks all those boxes and more. He's not just a good fit, he's the perfect fit for what the Blazers are trying to build. And with Rich Paul in his corner and the entire Chinese market behind him, Hansen has all the support he needs to succeed. The skeptics are wrong. Now I know there are skeptics out there. The CBA isn't the NBA. International prospects are risky. He's not athletic enough. All of those concerns are valid, but they're also missing the point. Yes, the CBA isn't the NBA. But Hansen wasn't just good in the CBA, he was dominant, and dominance translates across all levels of basketball. Yes, international prospects are risky, but so are college prospects. Remember, Jokic was an international prospect too. So was Giannis. So was Luka Doncic. The teams that passed on Hansen are going to regret it, not because he's going to be good, because he's going to be great. The prediction. Here's my prediction. Yang Hansen is going to be one of the best players from the 2025 draft class. He's going to make his first All-Star team within 5 years. He's going to be in the Rookie of the Year conversation immediately. And he's going to turn the Blazers into a playoff team faster than anyone expects. The Blazers got a future All-Star at pick 16. That's not just a steal, that's highway robbery. Just like Giannis, just like Jokic, just like Draymond Green. Yang Hansen's story is just beginning. What happened on draft night was just the first chapter of what's going to be an incredible career. The experts got it wrong, the mock drafts got it wrong, but the Blazers got it right. And when Hansen is dominating the league in a few years, remember that you heard it here first. If you want to see more deep dives on draft steals and hidden gems, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments. Do you think Hansen is going to live up to the hype, or are the skeptics right? Because one thing's for sure, we're about to find out.